Chapter 1. A Bear Like No Other. The first weekend in May, I was out on the tundra, trying to get a caribou for my grandpa Jonah. The odds were against me. A good flow of caribou used to come fairly close to Aklavik on their way to the calving grounds, but that was before my time. At 15, I was raised in the new normal. Just about everything we hunt is harder to come by. It takes time to spot caribou. The treeless land up here in the Arctic is vast and seemingly empty. You can't get discouraged. There might be caribou over the next rise. My second day out, I finally had some luck. What I saw through Jonah's high-powered binoculars wasn't a river of caribou, not even a stream, just a trickle. 40 or so were dropping down on a snowbank onto the greening tundra. Nearly half were mature cows, some with antlers and some without. The rest were yearlings and 2-year-olds, including some good-sized bulls. I stalked them for most of an hour. At 400 yards, shielded by a knee-high boulder, I waited on my belly. The barrel of my rifle lay in a slot on the rock, where it would remain dead still at the moment of truth. As the caribou drew closer, I heard the clicking of their foot tendons. "Patience," I heard Jonah saying. "Wait for the sure thing. The last thing you want is for an animal to suffer and die far away in the brush." Abreast of me, fewer than 200 yards away, the caribou stopped to graze. Some of the yearlings seized the opportunity to prance and play. The 2-year-olds were grazing non-stop. The mature cows mostly kept their heads up, watching for danger. They couldn't catch a whiff of me. The wind was out of the north, off the sea ice. I picked out a good-sized bull, standing broadside to me at the very back of the group. His head was up, and he was standing still as a statue. With the crosshairs of my scope on the killing spot behind his shoulder, I squeezed off the shot. The bullet took the young bull's life before he heard it coming. Confused and indecisive, the others milled around for a few seconds. Before I got to my feet, the leaders bolted. The whole bunch took off running at full speed. I bled the caribou as soon as I reached him, then got to work skinning and field dressing the bull the way Jonah had taught me. I smiled to hear my grandfather's voice, same as if he was at my side. The sooner you let the heat out of the meat, the more tender and delicious it will be. I opened up the underside of the animal and pulled the innards onto the tundra. The heart, liver, and kidneys were headed home to Aklavik with care. Jonah was as traditional as they come, and had always prized the organ meat. Sick as he was now from the stomach cancer, they were the only parts of this caribou he would be able to digest. It used to be, elders who were dying were honored with meat from an unborn calf, which is said to be tender beyond belief. I guess it still happens some, but Jonah wouldn't want me to kill a cow on his account. In the last 10 years, the Porcupine River caribou herd has shrunk by as much as half, if you believe the experts. We're hoping it's not that bad, but who knows? The last couple years I've been killing only bulls, ever since Jonah said we should stop taking cows. The butchering went quickly. You better believe I was keeping my eye out for bears as I placed the meat inside the game bags. Before long, a pair of ravens appeared. After a couple of flybys, they landed and hopped to within 10 feet, big and shiny black. I tossed them some scraps. I had to be extra wary now. Wolves and bears watch what the ravens are up to, and know it's worth their while to investigate when the birds come to ground. It wasn't wolves I was concerned about. They would keep out of range of my rifle until I was gone. Barren ground grizzlies are so unpredictable you just never know. Soon as I was done tying down my 2 game bags full of meat to the pack frame I'd brought along, I was ready to head back to the river and home. The ravens hopped to the gut pile as I was struggling to get that load of meat onto my shoulders. Even the year before, I couldn't have done what